I was walking back from a courtroom, 98-degree temperature, and I collapsed. I found myself in the emergency room at a hospital where the doctors and nurses were talking to me. And I could hear them and understand them, but I could not respond to them. I couldn't move my mouth. And I can remember thinking right then, I'm dying. And I remember thinking, dear Lord, if you will give me the opportunity, I will go back and do that which I have a passion for. 4 days later, I began the process of getting back into the classroom. I will never forget when I was announced as the Teacher of the Year after the other 7 amazing teachers that became part of my team, my head just dropped to the floor. I was genuinely surprised. I think that's part of who I am. I've never done this to be competitive. I just do it because I absolutely love it. My dad had to quit going to architecture school because of my mother's tuberculosis. I could not be near my mother because it was thought to be that contagious. So the person who raised me the first 4 years of my life was my grandmother, a retired school teacher. I teach like my grandmother taught me. I came to a love of literature because of how my grandmother taught me. In a real sense, this entire year has been my way of honoring what my grandmother gave me. It is who I am. I am such a part of that. I was called by Sublette, Kansas School District, tiny little school in southwestern Kansas, and was invited to come, but the superintendent said, you probably won't be able to come all the way out here. And I remember telling him that I'd be honored to be there. My dad graduated from Sublette High School and played on the 1941 state championship basketball team, and I said, I will be there. And so when I came to the high school, they took me into the trophy area, and there was the championship trophy my dad won. And took a picture beside that and sent it to all my family, and all of us had a nice, generous dose of tears about it. But the connecting of somebody that meant so much to me and back there, so that was amazing. Of course, I've been with the White House. I've been with the President of the United States and actually got to talk with him for a while. I've been to Huntsville, Alabama to space camp and actually met Homer Hickam, the October Sky guy, and spent time with him underneath the Saturn V rocket. I mean, how does it get better than that? Met Sal Khan of Khan Academy and actually spent an afternoon with him talking about how we could bring English into his system of delivering education. It has been an incredible honor to represent this state as Kansas Teacher of the Year. It's been very humbling to do that. The thousands of teachers that I've been with, from small rural schools like Sublette, to speaking to 3,000 teachers in the Blue Valley School District, to getting to give the keynote address to my high school, as well as Leavenworth High School at the beginning of this year, has all been astonishing. I like to think that as the Teacher of the Year, it's not necessarily saying, I am the best teacher in Kansas, but I have been the one that's been chosen to represent teachers in Kansas and to inspire, to motivate, to lift up what I believe is the most important profession, teaching. This may sound odd coming from a teacher. I think it's important that we remember that it's really not about the testing. It's really not about the testing. It's about the relationships. It's about the relationships that great teachers build with their students. And that's something that my team is especially focused on this year, is helping teachers remember that and not get overwhelmed by the testing portion of what they do. Character matters more than test scores. And talking about the importance of developing persistence and determination, curiosity, not being overwhelmed by failing to get something the first time, but learning from failures to become successful. That's been a key message that I've delivered everywhere I've been. I've talked a lot about the difference between good and great is really a small amount. In Kansas, one of the things that we've been able to do was we were asked to testify before the state legislature. And also in that day, actually spent a good bit of time testifying before the joint House-Senate Education Committee about the power of education and what we do here in Kansas and some of the issues that are facing Kansas teachers. And so we've had a wonderful opportunity to make a difference, I believe, with people who will make the decisions. And so that's been a wonderful opportunity. I've also had the opportunity to meet with the Department of Education, United States Department of Education, spent time with Secretary Duncan. We spent an afternoon working on policy issues that are national policy issues. So again, it's been that opportunity to really make a difference as a policymaker, which is a different thing than lesson plans and working in the classroom. I'm working with teachers from all over the world right now building global literacy units. I'm close friends with 2 teachers who teach juniors just outside of Lima, Peru, and we're sharing how we can improve literacy across the world. To think that all of this is happening right now inspires me. I think has helped me to become a better teacher. I think one of the things that happened, and I've shared this with a lot of teachers in school districts, they tend to see education like this: their school district. And one of the things that I've been able to do is see this is education across our state, across the country, and now across the world. It really, in the end, is about the relationships that you establish with kids. Kids don't learn from people they don't like and respect. They don't. I don't do it because of that, but I am who I am with the students I teach. And I share, this is who I am. And they see that, warts and all. And I think that's why that we relate well, and kids work hard for me. They trust what I'm doing. They know that I genuinely care about them. If I could look back and tell the Jeff Baxter in 1971, here's what it's going to take to be a successful teacher, I thought that I had to be knowledgeable and perfect and do everything exactly right. And one of the things that I would tell myself back then is, Jeff, it's a journey, and you're always going to be learning. You'll never stop learning. And I can tell you to this day, I haven't stopped learning. It's still a journey, and for teachers, it's a journey that you never get there. If you're going to be successful, it's an ongoing process of continually learning how to do what you do better. Teaching is the most noble profession. I can't think of another thing that's out there that doesn't require a teacher. We make a difference in the world to students. We make a difference in the quality of life. We make a difference in how people respond to each other, how they care for each other. We set the example for kindness, for generosity. And I would remind and encourage people that are considering the profession to think of it in terms of it's a mission. I'm not saying you have to be sent by God, okay? But that is how I approach it. I was called to be a teacher, much like somebody would be called to go into the ministry. And that's why I have such passion for it. I make a difference.